Hello students, I am Kamlesh Kumar. Welcome to all of you at my YouTube channel Social Science Academy. In this video, we are going to start the second chapter of class 9 NCERT, that is Socialism in Europe and the Russian Revolution. So before we go into detail of the chapter, let us first see what new words, difficult words, new terminology will come in this chapter. So let us first discuss it, then we will talk about the introduction of the chapter, and then we will move forward. So first let us begin with the difficult words and new terms. So first we will try to define the term socialism. Socialism is basically a political and economic theory or ideology of social organization which advocates that the means of production, distribution and exchange should be owned or regulated by the community as a whole. Means whatever the citizen, whatever the people will live together within a nation, if there is a socialist country, then all the means of production, distribution will be managed by the community as a whole, not by particular or private organization or authority. Second term is aristocracy. Aristocracy is a form of government in which power is held by the nobility. Means only nobility take the power, that is called aristocracy. Conservatives are basically those people who averse to change or innovation and holding traditional values. Means they are rigid, that this is our custom, this is our tradition and we will follow it. We are not going to change ourselves. So those people are called conservative. Liberals, a person of liberal views. Means if a person changes his or her opinion with the demand of time, they are called liberals. Radicals, a person who advocates thorough or complete political change within short span of time. Means within 24 hours or within a week, if people are advocating to bring some drastic changes, those people are called radicals. Now next term will be come in the chapter, that is suffragette movement. It was a movement in Russia to give women the right to vote. So it was a moment to give women the right to vote in Russia. We will talk in detail about this movement in the depth of the chapter. So next term will be capitalist, a person who uses their wealth to invest in trade and introduction of profit in accordance with the principles of capitalism. Communist society, a society which is classless and stateless, based upon common ownership of the means of production with free access to articles of consumption and the end of consumption, economic exploitation. Means in this communist society, there will be no private ownership. Whatever the resources will be there, that will be commonly used. Second, international. It was an international association of socialist parties and trade unions that began in Paris in 1889 and collapsed during the World War I. Tsar. It is written as TSAR, Tsar, but it is pronounced as Tsar. So it was the post of an emperor of Russia before 1917. Means before 1917, the Russian emperor was called as Tsar. Commune or mir, a group of people living together and sharing possessions and responsibilities, especially on the land, they were called commune. Next term will become that is Bolshevik. Bolshevik were the supporter of the group led by Lenin that took power in Russia in 1970. Another term will be Menshevik, a member of a wing of the Russian Socialist Democratic Party before and during the Russian Revolution, believing in the gradual achievement of socialism by parliamentary methods in opposition to the Bolsheviks. Autocracy, a system of government by one person with absolute power. That is called autocracy. Jihadist. It was the late 19th century movement of intellectual and political self-renewal and resistance among the Muslim subjects of the Russian Empire. So in Russia, those Muslim who wanted to renew their society, they were called jihadists. Next term will be Cossacks. A member of people of Ukraine and southern Russia, noted for their horsemanship and military skill, were called Cossacks. Bloody Sunday, it was an incident of the Russian part of the Russian Revolution. On January 22nd, 1905, a group of workers led by the radical priest Georgy Apollonovich Gapon marched to the Tsar's Winter Palace in St. Petersburg to make their demands. So imperial forces opened fire on the demonstrators, killing and wounding hundreds of people, Russian people, mainly the poor people, killed in this Sunday. So that's why it is called Bloody Sunday in the history of Russian Revolution. Next term will be Duma. Duma was a Russian assembly or parliament with advisory or legislative functions. So basically Russian parliament was called Duma. Soviet was an elected local district or national council in the former Soviet Union, or we can say that meaning of Soviet is the council. Dictatorship. A dictatorship is a form of government characterized by the absolute rule of one person or a very small group of people who hold all political power. Budenovka. Budenovka is a distinctive type of hat or cap and tribal part of the communist military uniforms of the Russian Civil War and later conflicts. Its official name was the broadcloth helmet. Next one is autonomy. The right or condition of self-government is called autonomy. And nomadism, a member of people or tribe who move from one place to another place, find pasture and food. A person who continually moves from place to place or wanderer, this process is called nomadism. Next one is creches. Creches is a place or nursery where the babies and young children are cared for during the working day. Means if a lady is working lady and she is having a baby, then she will carry her baby with her to her working place, and she will live in creches, and there will be in creches the women who will take care of those babies. So that is called creches. Kulaks, a peasant in Russian wealthy enough to own a farm and hire labor, emerging after the emancipation of serfs in the 19th century. The kulaks resisted Stalin's forced collectivization, but millions were arrested, exiled or killed. The last term will be kolkhoz. Kolkhoz was a collective farm in the former Soviet Union. So these are the difficult words in my point of view that the students may feel difficult. Rather than these difficult words, if you feel any difficulty, you can contact me or ask during the class. Now let us move to the introduction of the chapter. So the age of social change. The previous chapter was the French Revolution, in which you might have studied about the various ideas came forward after the French Revolution, that is equality, fraternity, liberty, and together with these three words, the concept of democracy emerged worldwide. So this French Revolution of 1789 marked the turning point in the history of the world, and it gave a new direction to the social, economic and political changes. So Let us begin. In the previous chapter, you read about the powerful ideas of the freedom and equality and circulated in Europe after the French Revolution. The French Revolution opened a possibility of creating a dramatic change in the way in which society was structured. As you have read before, the 18th century society was broadly divided into states and orders, and it was aristocracy and church which controlled economic and social power. Suddenly, after the revolution, it seemed possible to change this. In many parts of the world, including Europe and Asia, new ideas about individual rights, who controlled social power, began to be discussed. In India, Raja Ram Mohan Roy and Henry Vivian Desrosiers talked about the significance of the French Revolution, and many others debated the ideas of post-revolutionary Europe. So the developments in the colonies in turn reshaped these ideas of societal change. Means whatever happened in the French society, it paved the way for the social, economic, political changes all over the world. So before that revolution, in many parts of the world, society were hierarchical society, means some were having the great power and some were having no powers. So that was the imbalances of power, and after the successful achievement of the French Revolution, the discussion emerged throughout the world that we can change, and it became the source of inspiration for other people around the world, this French Revolution. Not everyone in Europe, however, wanted to complete transformation of society. Responses varied from those who accepted that some changes was necessary but wished for a gradual shift, to those who wanted to restructure society radically. Some were conservatives, others were liberals or radicals. What did the terms really mean in the context of the time? So what separated the stands of politics and what linked them together? We must remember that these terms do not mean the same thing in all contexts or at all times. We will look briefly at some of the important political traditions of the 19th century and see how they influenced change. So then we will focus on the historical event in which there was an attempt at a radical transformation of society. Through the revolution in Russia, socialism became one of the most significant and powerful ideas to shape society in the 20th century. So students, what happened in this French Revolution, and its impact was felt around the world. So in every society of the world, the people were focusing to bring changes in their respective countries. So there were three types of people who wanted to bring changes, and they were called liberals, radicals and conservatives. In next video, we will discuss in detail about the radicals, who were liberals, who were radicals and who were conservatives, and in that way we will move forward. So till then, keep watching, and it's one request is there. If you are liking this video, please smash on the like button, subscribe the channel, so that whenever I will upload the new videos, you will get the notification very soon, and you will able to access the new videos and move towards your class content. So thanks, keep watching, wait for the next video.